The House will come to order. All members take their seats. All guests, please clear the aisle. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All members record their presence by pressing the green button. Thank you. Any member present, please record your attendance. The clerk will please lock the machine. There are 50 members present. There is a quorum. All rise for the invocation to be given by Father Aaron Walker of the Greek-Spiritan Orthodox Church of Newport. Father Aaron Walker is here honoring Greek Independence Day. The Pledge of Allegiance will be given by Chairman McNamara. Father Walker.
O Lord Almighty, we turn to you in prayer as we commemorate the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary today, along with the 200th anniversary of the War of Independence for the modern nation of Greece, inaugurated on March 25th, 1821, which is a shared celebration of Greek and American democracy. We honor you as our Creator on this day, who entered the womb of your blessed Mother Mary and set in motion the beginning of our salvation and our freedom from enslavement to sin. We offer thanksgiving prayers as well for the rebirth and liberation of the nation of Greece from its political enslavement, which reestablished democratic principles in Greece, the motherland of democracy. Lord, please make us worthy of our freedoms. Strengthen our courage and integrity. Preserve us in peace and harmony. Help us remember the gift and the serious responsibility of our individual freedom, which is affirmed in our oneness with Christ our Lord, in adherence to his teachings, which are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Furthermore, we pray today for the elected officials of the state of Rhode Island and Providence plantations and all the members of this chamber. Protect them, guide them, and guard each and every one of them and their families. Bless them with good health and sound minds, that they may lead us in wisdom and truth, and that they may lead us with courage. For you are the source of life. You are our protector and our Savior, and we ascribe glory to you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and ever, to the ages of ages. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Walker. Thank you, Chairman McNamara. Next order of business is the approval of the journal. Is there any objection to the approval of the journal of the previous day? Hearing none, so ordered. Clerk, do we have any communications? Please read.
Representative José Batista is unable to attend session today, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Representative Liana Casa is unable to attend session today, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Representative Gregory Constantino is unable to attend session today, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Representative Marianne Shellcross Smith is unable to attend session today, Thursday, March 25th, 2021.
Thank you. Please place on file. Committee reports. Are there any committee reports? Hearing none. Next order is new business. Leader Blasewski with new business. Representative Potter with new business. Representative Barros with new business. Representative Kislak with new business. Representative Speakman with new business. Deputy Whip Ackerman with new business. Any other new business? Representative McEntee.
Could I be please marked as present so I can turn my computer on?
So ordered.
Thank you.
One more call for new business. We can come back to new business. Any other new business? Representative Norrie. Same request for attendance as Representative McEntee.
Thank you, Speaker.
So ordered. Next order of business is today's calendar. Clerk, please read the first item on today's calendar.
Item number 1, House 5462.
Chairman Casey. Chairman Casey is not here at the moment, so why don't we roll that down to the bottom of today's calendar. Item number 2, please, clerk. Please read.
Item number 2, House 5093.
Thank you. Chairman Craven. Chairman Craven is here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am, in fact, here, and I got that going for me on this bill. So
That's half the battle.
yeah. This bill comes to us from Chairman McNamara. It's a bill involving attempt to legislate through some additional traffic laws providing some safety under the traffic laws for unsafe passengers who are vulnerable using the roads. It provides that notwithstanding provisions of the general law to the contrary, any person while operating a motor vehicle on a street or highway who fails to exercise due care to avoid collisions with vulnerable road users, causing injury, serious injury, or death to the vulnerable road user would be guilty of an offense pursuant to this section and shall be sentenced in addition to any other applicable criminal or civil statutes as follows. And it goes on to provide for fines. It's a good bill. I know myself the advent of a lot of biking and using of breakdown lanes or dedicated biking lanes in Rhode Island is a great opportunity for people to get into the outdoors. But it does require additional due care and to require the motorist to be held responsible for not using due care in reference to people that are clearly vulnerable on a bike or even running is appropriate. And as such, I think it's a good bill and I move passage.
Thank you. Chairman Craven moves passage. Seconded by Representative Phillips, Representative Hawkins, Representative Caldwell, Representative Cortrevian, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairwoman McEntee, Leader Blasewski, Chairman Abney, Representative Speakman, Representative Morales, Chairman Bennett, Representative Kislak, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Chairman McNamara, Representative Tanzi, Chairman Hull, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative Beer, Representative Amore, Representative Donovan, Chairman Solomon, Representative Casimiro, and Representative Barros. Are there any other seconds? Thank you. On the bill, Representative Norrie. Representative Norrie, do you want to be heard on the bill? Oh, you seconded. Okay, thank you. Representative Norrie also seconds. Deputy Whip Chippendale on the bill, please.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd like to introduce an amendment, if I may.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you please read the LC number?
Yes, sir. It is LC 000158/2.
Deputy Whip Chippendale moves
My title.
LC 0. I'm sorry, Whip Chippendale. It's a hangover from yesterday, Tuesday. LC 00158/2. Seconded by Representative Morgan, Representative Place. Representative Morgan and Place. On the amendment.
Thank you, Speaker. When I was reviewing the calendar, well, this was actually on Tuesday, so I read this and a couple of things popped into my head that caused a little bit of concern. What we're essentially doing is we are adding this ability to fine a driver based on the level of injury of an individual who is a vulnerable road user. That's certainly something that we all have to deal with. In my district, sometimes we've got folks equestrian, riding their horse down the road or doing various things. Those are vulnerable road users. The bill spells it out very clearly. In the city, we have different challenges, except for the mounted command, of course, of the Providence Police. You aren't going to see horses, but unfortunately what we do see, or at least I do, when I'm on the east side or down where JWU is a whole lot of people who don't understand what jaywalking is. So my concern was, well, gee, this is automatically assigning to the driver all of the guilt, if you will, if we can use that word, or all of the responsibility, I think is probably a better word. The amendment I'm offering is to sort of allow the vulnerable road user to be held partially responsible in the event that something happens. So right now, I have a headlight out in my car. I'm not exercising due care as a driver. I'm guilty of that. And I'm driving down the road, my right headlight's out, and from the left side, a jogger at night on a rainy night in a navy blue jumpsuit with ear pods in, who can't hear anything, jots out between two parked cars, and I clip them with the side of my car. They bear no responsibility for that, even though it was their negligence that created it. My headlight being out, while a lack of due care, was not contributory to that person violating several laws and several common sense approaches to using the roadway. This simply adds that responsibility, or adds the ability for that person to bear responsibility. I think that's important for drivers, and I think there's also some underlying themes to this as well, where, and I'm certain that there will be a dialogue with some of our attorneys in the room. I think what we're doing here is we're laying down the ability for some future tort action to be taken on that individual based on them being issued a $200 citation for accidentally hitting someone who negligently ran in front of their car. So simply, I am just trying to add that protection to the driver that can be used on top of anything else they have to use in the future or at the time to defend their actions in that particular incident. And that is all I have for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, did you want to be second on the bill? Your light came on late and then went off.
Yes, please, Speaker.
So ordered. Thank you. Chairman Craven? Whip Chippendale, are you done? He is done. Chairman Craven?
I'll defer to the minority leader if he chooses, but I'll be happy to respond to...
No, he wanted just to be noted as
Okay.
seconding the bill. The amendment, excuse me, second the amendment.
The amendment proposed by the minority whip is logical and appropriate, and I'm not saying unfortunately, because it's not unfortunate. The law, well, let me start with this. Right now, this is not a law in Rhode Island. And the defenses that Whip Chippendale is concerned about exist in law today. So if there was no such law of this nature, and an accident happened, and the bicyclist or the runner...
Excuse me, Chairman.
No problem.
Please. There's a floor debate going on, people. Thank you.
And the bicyclist or the runner came out from between two parked cars in a blue jumpsuit with iPods and can't hear anything, then that's called contributory negligence. And in some instances, it diminishes fault, and in some instances, it eliminates fault as to the determination of the trial judge. So the defenses and his concerns already exist. If we pass this into law, then those defenses, still existing now, will apply to this new statute that will be under the traffic laws. So I don't think it's necessary, and it isn't the practice in all of our other traffic laws to include the defenses in the offense that is identified and designated by the General Assembly as being, if you do this, you'll now be fined.
Thank you, Chairman. Representative Newberry, and then Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I actually think the amendment goes too far, and I think the bill doesn't go far enough. And the reason I bring it up is to touch on what the chairman was saying. In negligence law, let's take a car accident example. In Rhode Island, if you're a plaintiff and you sue somebody and you get to a trial, the jury will apportion negligence if there's negligence on both parties. In Rhode Island, it's 100%, it's called comparative negligence, it's 100%. So in theory, a jury could find the plaintiff 98% negligent and the defendant 2%. And then whatever damages are awarded, the plaintiff gets 2% of that. In Massachusetts, if the plaintiff is found more than 50% negligent, they get nothing. I happen to think that's a much better system, but that different states have different rules. That's fine. Under the statute that we're about to pass, I presume, there's no defense for comparative negligence at all, because what it says is, in line 14, well, line 13, 14, notwithstanding, et cetera, anyone who fails to exercise due care, which essentially means was negligent. So if a civil case went to trial and the driver here in this instance was found negligent, even if they were only found 2% negligent, they have been found not in exercise of due care under our comparative negligence laws, which means that this would kick in. So someone who was speeding 5 miles over the limit, or who had the headlight out, but who hit someone who ran in front of their car and then sued them, maybe the pedestrian would be found 95%, 98% at fault. And they wouldn't get much in a civil trial, but the driver would still have their license suspended. I don't think that in that scenario is a fair result. On the other hand, the amendment, I think, goes too far, because it basically does the opposite. And it says if the pedestrian, for example, is found at fault at all, then the driver is not going to have the license suspended. And really, I think it should be a balance in the middle. So that's going to sound a little odd. I'm going to vote for the amendment. Whether it passes or not, I'm going to vote for the bill. But I do think the bill could be improved, and I presume the Senate has not heard this, and maybe there should be some conversation with Senate Judiciary, because sometimes they change things and send them back. I think that should be factored in, and it should be changed, but not quite the way that my colleague Whip Chippendale wants to change it. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no other lights on the amendment. The clerk will unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative on the amendment will vote green. Any on the negative, vote red, please. Please vote. Clerk, please lock the machine. There are 9, no? Okay. Clerk, lock the machine, please. There are 9 in the affirmative, 50 in the negative. The amendment is defeated. We are back on the bill. Leader Filippi on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the chairman yield, please?
I believe Chairman Craven will.
Always to you, young man.
I appreciate it, Chairman Craven. Just to be clear, it's the intent of this body not to have any finding of culpability under this statute to be able to be used as evidence in a subsequent civil suit between the driver and the alleged victim. Am I clear on that?
It's a judicial ruling, and the statutory as well as case law say that it's a judge it's not like Massachusetts, where Massachusetts finds that if you pay the fine, this is kind of a practical result. If you pay the fine, most people pay the fine because they don't want to go to court. They don't want to say, I'm going to spend a morning waiting in line for $250. So they don't allow it to be used against you in the subsequent proceeding that we kind of theoretically talked about. Rhode Island, it's up to the judge if that it is some evidence, but it is some evidence. The judge then makes a determination whether its probative value outweighs its prejudicial value.
Understand. And then that's sometimes a high standard. To keep evidence out, it's usually the burden's on the party trying to keep it out.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would just say, Mr. Speaker, that if we're going to do a relook at the bill, I would just want to put in language there that says, and I'll take a step back. The reason I'm concerned about this is that it's essentially saying that it's up to the police officer to determine negligence. And then if the driver was negligent, do care. If the driver was negligent, then they're guilty under the statute. And if they're guilty under the statute and they just say, listen, I want to pay the $250, I get it. I'm not going to go and have a big fight over the contributory negligence that was the subject of the opposition to Whip Chippendale's amendment. I'd just be concerned that paying that $250 fine instead of going through all the rigmarole, 2 years later, the driver of the car is then subject to a civil lawsuit for a substantial amount of money, and then paying off that ticket, essentially admitting to the police officer's initial finding of negligence, would then somehow preclude them from asserting in a subsequent civil trial that no, they were not negligent and be liable for substantial sums of money. So whether they're precluded from even defending against an allegation of negligence or their prior admission of negligence by paying the $250 fine, I think both of those shouldn't be able to be brought against them in a subsequent civil suit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Representative McLaughlin.
Mr. Speaker, members of the body, I have a question for the chairman.
Chairman, will you yield?
Yes, I will.
Chairman Craven will yield.
Chairman, I respect you lawyers in the House. Last time I took a driver's exam, okay, I believe it was stated you're supposed to have your vehicle under control at all times. Is that still in effect?
It's still.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Whip Chippendale.
Thank you, Speaker. Just to sort of piggyback on what Leader Filippi said, and this was my thought, and of course, as we saw, my good friend and colleague, Representative Newberry, who actually is a lawyer, has experience and has a different opinion on this. I'm a layperson in this regard, so my concerns were that. My concerns still are. I do echo Leader Filippi's, because while, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to be a pain on this, but I cannot hear myself speak, and I have a microphone.
Please.
Thank you very much. So, of course, our good friends who are attorneys were sort of playing devil's advocate with me and saying, well, this should be in that. And I get it. You shouldn't admit. If you're not guilty, you should go to court and fight this ticket. And I get it. But the 20-year-old or whatever, 30-year-old individual who's not savvy on the law and doesn't realize this could be laying down the framework for what could financially destroy them in the future, they're going to just simply weigh that option. Oh, geez, I can't take a day out of work. I'm going to lose more than the fine. I'm just going to send it in and pay it. That was my concern. I know that's not changing the outcome on my amendment or this bill, but in the hopes that Leader Filippi expressed that this bill gets a second look, or perhaps the Senate amends it. That's, I think, some of the important background that folks need to remember. While we are attorney heavy in this building, we aren't as attorney heavy on the roadways. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Whip. Chairman Solomon. On the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. I rise in strong support of this bill, and I want to commend Chairman McNamara for introducing it. Too often do we watch the news and hear about bicyclists being fatally struck. Too often do we watch the news where we hear about an emergency vehicle being struck. Too often do we hear about pedestrians being struck. This is a bill that's going to save lives. It's going to let people know that this is something, it's prohibited contact, that they need to be more careful when they're passing vulnerable road users. It's a great bill, and let's save some lives with this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Well said. There are no other lights. Clerk will unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 2 from Rep. Batista, the following representatives: Rep. Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzlikowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Just one moment, please. I think there may, Representative Batista is not here.
That's correct.
I think I have a recorded vote for him in the last amendment. No? My light was lit. Good enough. Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker.
I want to be sure of that. Protect the integrity. Leader Filippi.
Same request, please, Mr. Speaker, for Representative Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price.
In the affirmative?
In the affirmative, please.
Thank you very much. Clerk will lock the machine. 69 in the affirmative, 4 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. Next docketed item, please, Clerk.
Item number 3, House 5950.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill from the Speaker would create legislation commission to study the entire area land use, prevention, production, development, housing, environment, and regulations. The commission would report back to the House of Representatives on or before 4/30/22 and would expire on 6/30/22. I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Representative Carson, Representative Speakman, Representative Donovan, Chairman Abney, Leader Blasewski, Representative Beer, Representative Morales, Representative Caldwell, Representative Shanley, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Representative Amore, Chairman Azanaro, Deputy Speaker Lima, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Representative Cortravan, Representative Cardillo, Chairwoman Diaz, Chairman Bennett, Representative Slater, Chairman Corvesi, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Chairman McNamara, Chairman Hull, Chairwoman McEntee, Representative O'Brien, Chairman Craven, Floor Manager Edwards, Chairman Solomon, Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian, Representative Giraldo, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Potter, Representative Barros, Representative Fenton Fung, Chairwoman Fogarty. There are no lights on the act. Oh, sorry, Chairwoman Fogarty. Representative Carson, do either one of you want to speak? I have lights lit. Representative Carson and then Chairwoman Williams.
Thank you, Speaker. I stand in very strong support of this resolution. I was a co-sponsor last year, and I was happy to see that you put it in. And while I have absolutely no intention of revisiting the debate that we had on Tuesday, I want to just recognize that right on the first page of this resolution, you identify the fact that the way we use our land is critical to resiliency and sustainability for climate change. And I have to say that I just want to point out to my colleagues that there are many different aspects of state government that are working to bring us into a sustainable and a resilient Rhode Island. And this is another feature that will do it. So I thank you very much for putting this in.
Thank you. Chairwoman Williams, and then Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I've often said, one size does not fit all. While I am in full support of this resolution, definitely, I want to make it clear that the redlining that's been going on for decades, but now it's a lot more subtle in our communities, to make it clear that while individuals throughout our 39 cities and towns, especially in the privileged areas, are benefiting to making sure that their securities are in play, I want to make sure that ours will be in play too, and we're not going to be subjected to only being in these red line zoned area, period. I just want to put it on the record for all to hear and understand. And if you don't understand, please feel free to come and ask me to elaborate more, and I will tell you and give you names and dates and places. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Representative McLaughlin, and then Chairwoman Diaz.
Mr. Speaker, I'd just like to be recognized on item number 2. I got locked out on the last one.
In the affirmative?
In the affirmative.
So
yes.
ordered. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to be marked no for the amendment item number 2.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Norrie? Seconding. Okay. So ordered. Representative Stephen Lima? So ordered. There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 3 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzolkowski, Ranglin Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request in the affirmative for Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other lights? The clerk shall lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docket item, please.
Item number 4, House 5953, Sub A.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill H5953 Sub A by Vice Chair Speakman. This bill would create a 17-member commission to study the implementation of the Low and Moderate Income Housing Act, at which it will report back to the House of Representatives by December 16, 2021, and expire on April 17, 2022. The Committee on Municipal Government recommends indefinite postponement of the original bill, and I move the passage on the Sub A.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Second of the Sub A, seconded by Representative Carson, Representative Amore, Representative Henrys, Representative Donovan, Leader Blasewski, Chairwoman McEntee, Representative Morales, Representative Caldwell, Chairman Craven, Representative Norrie, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Representative Cortravan, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative Agello, Representative Speakman, Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Representative O'Brien, Representative McLaughlin, Chairman Hull, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Representative McNamara, Chairman Bennett, Floor Manager Edwards, Chairman Casey, Chairman Solomon, Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian, Representative Giraldo, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Potter, Representative Barros, Representative Cardillo. Chairwoman Williams on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in full support of this, especially when Representative Speakman took the time to include low-income people. Nice, thank you. But in addition to having us on paper, I look forward to having us at the table as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Representative Bia also seconding. So ordered. Any other lights? Any other? Whip Kazarian. No, okay. Cancel that. There are no other lights. Clerk shall unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 4 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzolkowski, Ringland Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request for Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price in the affirmative, please.
Thank you. There are 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docket item, please.
Item number 5, House 5330.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. H5330 by Representative Knight. This bill from Representative Knight validates and ratifies the amendment of the Home Rule Charter of the Town of Barrington. There is a Town Council resolution in support of this measure, and I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Chairman McNamara, Leader Blasewski, Representative Speakman, Representative Cortravan, Chairman Abney, Chairwoman McEntee, Chairman Bennett, and Representative Barros. There are no other lights on the amendment. Clerk shall unlock the machine. All those in favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 5 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzolkowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative for Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price.
Thank you. Clerk will lock the machine. There are 73 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 6, House 5129.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. H5129 by Representative Casimiro. This bill from Representative Casimiro would exempt from taxation the real property of Ocean State Community Wellness Incorporated, a qualified tax-exempt corporation under 5013C3 of the United States Internal Revenue Code, for the property located at 7450 Post Road, North Kingstown, Rhode Island. The town of North Kingstown voted to approve the exemption, and I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairman Craven, Leader Blasewski, Chairman Abney, Chairman McNamara, Chairman Casey, Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian, Representative Barros, Chairman Corvesi, Chairwoman Diaz, Chairman Bennett, Chairman Azanaro, Chairwoman McEntee, Representative Cardillo, Representative Phillips, Representative Bia, Representative Place, all seconding, and Representative Alzate as well. Chairwoman Williams on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Question to the sponsor of the bill.
That would be Representative Casimiro. Will you yield? Just a moment, she will yield.
Thank you. Huh? I know, huh? 3 times a charm. Representative.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chairman, woman.
3 times ain't that charm. First and foremost, I heard it said that this entity is a 501c3. So why is it that it has to come to this body to be tax exempt? 501c3 automatically gives you that exemption.
According to the town of North Kingstown, it has to come here. They provided a resolution requesting it.
According to the town of North Kingstown, so that's just in the town of North Kingstown?
I believe it might be in their charter.
Oh, okay, so I'll let that one. So now we will need to get something in the town, in the city of Providence, so that we can also have that option.
I believe that Providence might already do it. This is just enabling legislation.
For this particular entity only?
Correct.
Okay, and when did they get that 501c3?
Approximately 18 months ago.
Okay, so is there any way that you can provide me with that information that the town of North Kingstown, that's what's in their charter? So
Absolutely, I'll get to the bottom of that for you, but we do have a resolution from the town requesting it.
Okay, that's all I need. I need to be able to show proof that that's what, because automatically I believe 501c3 gives you that tax exempt status.
I will get you that information, Chairwoman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There are no other lights on the bill. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in favor vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 6 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzulkowski, Ranglin Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request in the affirmative. Representative Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
Thank you. Representative Morales, Representative Hull, please vote. Clerk will lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 7, House 5101.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Doing overtime today.
H5101 by Representative Ruggiero. This bill, it is a Senate duplicate, Senate Bill 50. This bill from Representative Ruggiero is a duplicate of Senator Euro's bill that validates and ratifies amendments to the Home Rule Charter of the town of Jamestown that were adopted in November 3rd, 2020 referendum. I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Representative Carson, Leader Blasewski, Chairman Bennett, Representative Cortrovan, Chairman Abney, Representative Speakman, Representative Phillips, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Representative Donovan, Chairwoman Fogarty, Chairman McNamara, Representative Barros, Representative Perez. There are no other seconds. There are no lights on the bill. I will go to Leader Blasewski. Clerk will unlock the machine first. I'm sorry. Clerk will unlock the machine. Thank you. Now I will go to Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 7 from the following representatives: Representatives Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzulkowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative. Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, I need you to vote, please. Thank you. Clerk will lock the machine. 72 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please, Clerk.
Item number 8, Senate 5-0.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate 5-0 by Senator Ure. This is a duplicate House Bill 5101. This bill from Senator Ure is a duplicate of Representative Ruggiero's bill that validates the ratification amendments to the Home Rule Charter of the Town of Jamestown that were adopted at November 3rd, 2020 referendum. I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage, seconded by Chairwoman Ruggiero, Leader Blasewski, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Representative Cortravan, Chairman Abney, Representative Carson, Chairman McNamara, Chairman Bennett, Representative Barros, Chairman Azzanaro. There are no other lights on the bill. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 8 from the following representatives. Representatives Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzolkowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative. Representatives Roberts, Price, and Quattrochi, please.
Thank you. Representative Alzate, please vote. Thank you. Clerk will lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 9, House 5418.
Chairman Shanley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 5418, sponsored by Representative Amori, would require anyone serving on a board or commission appointed by the governor to have a connection to the state through licensure or residence. There was no testimony in opposition. I move passage.
Chairman Shanley moves passage. Seconded by Representative Carson, Representative Amore, Representative Bia, Leader Blasewski, Chairman Abney, Representative Donovan, Chairman Craven, Representative O'Brien, Representative Cortravan, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative Agello, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Representative Cardillo, Chairman Azzanaro, Chairman Bennett, Floor Manager Edwards, Chairwoman Diaz, Representative Slater, Chairman Corvasi, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Chairman McNamara, Representative Tanzi, Chairman Hull, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Potter, Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian, Representative Barros, Representative Magor, and Representative Giraldo. Leader Filippi on the bill.
Would the chairman yield briefly, please?
I'm sure he will. Will you yield, Chairman?
Always for my friend.
Much obliged. Thank you, Chairman. Just could you explain the rationale? You know, I know Providence, the metro market extends into Massachusetts. I mean, we used to do the Follies in Seekonk. They're not so disconnected living around the state of Rhode Island that they're still not part of our community. So I'm just trying to understand the rationale for excluding people who may live within our community but across a border from serving on the other side of this border.
Sure, and if they have a connection to our state through licensure, then they would still be allowed to serve on a board or a commission. This is to make sure that we're not just pulling people from out of state when we have people that are here and qualified and able to serve.
Has it been a problem?
There's been some criticism in the past.
Okay. I just want to understand the rationale. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There are no other lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 9 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Costantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzolkowski, Ranglin Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same requests in the affirmative for Representative Sherry Roberts, Robert Quattrochi, and Justin Price, please.
So ordered. Clerk will lock the machine. 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docket item, please, Clerk.
Item number 10, House 5784.
Chairman Azzanaro.
Thank you, Speaker. House Bill 5784 is a House resolution reinstating the life and extending the reporting and expiration dates of the Special Legislative Commission to study and make recommendations for a plan and the design of a Beirut Memorial to be located at the Rhode Island State House. We're doing this because there's an extension on anything that goes wrong with the memorial that will be covered by the builder of the memorial. So that goes until, I believe it's in October, November. So they just want to make sure that the commission is still in effect while the builder is still on the hook for any damage.
Fair enough. Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Asanaro moves passage, seconded by Representative Phillips, Representative Carson, Chairman Abney, Leader Blasewski, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Chairman Craven, Representative Speakman, Representative Cortravan, Representative Donovan, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative McLaughlin, Representative Amore, Representative Tanzi, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Chairman Corvasi, Chairwoman McEntee, Chairwoman Diaz, Chairman Bennett, Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Representative Cardillo, Floor Manager Edwards, Chairman Casey, Representative Casimiro, Representative Stephen Lima, Whip Kazarian, Representative Barros, Representative Messier, Representative Falella, Representative McLaughlin, Representative Place, Representative Chippendale, Representative Morgan. There are no other seconds. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 10 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzlikowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request, please, in the affirmative for Representative Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
So ordered. Thank you. Randall Bassa. Okay. Thank you. Clerk will please lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please, Clerk.
Item number 11, Senate 148.
Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 148 by Senator Miller is an act to vacate the forfeiture or revocation of the charter of Providence Riverboat Company. It's a good bill. I move passage.
Chairman Solomon moves passage, seconded by Representative Caldwell, Leader Blasewski, Chairman Bennett, Representative Agello, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson. There are no other seconds. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 11 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzlikowski, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative, Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
Thank you. So ordered. Clerk will please lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Item number 12, please, Clerk.
Item number 12, Senate 224.
Chairman Abney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number S224 by Senator Goodwin. It is identical to House Bill 5534 by Chairwoman Diaz, which passed the House on March 16th. It authorizes Providence to issue up to $140 million in school bonds. I move passage.
Chairman Abney moves passage, seconded by Chairwoman Diaz, Representative Slater, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Leader Blasewski, Representative Bia, Representative Amore, Representative Speakman, Representative Agello, Deputy Speaker Lima, Representative Morales, Representative O'Brien, Representative Giraldo, Representative Donovan, Representative Barros, and Chairman Casey. Any of the seconds? There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 12 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzukowski, Ranglin Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative. Representative Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
Thank you. So ordered. Clerk, there are 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Let's go back to item number 1. Chairman, Clerk, please read item number 1.
Item number 1, House 5462.
Chairman Casey.
Thank you, Speaker. Item 5642 comes to us from Representative Edwards. This act would provide that trapping and subsequent release of any unowned feral or free-roaming cat for the purpose of spaying or neutering of that cat shall not be considered abandonment. This is a good bill. I move passage.
Chairman Casey moves passage, seconded by Representative Donovan, Representative Carson, Chairman Abney, Leader Blasewski, Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Representative Speakman, Representative Cortrevan, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative Agello, Chairman Hull, Chairman McNamara, Floor Manager Edwards, Chairman Bennett, Representative Casimiro, Representative Morales, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Potter. There are no other seconds. On the act, Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield, please?
Well, Floor Manager Edwards will yield.
I know this is germane. I appreciate that, Floor Manager. Cat isn't defined in here. Where are we? This is not a joke.
We're really going there?
We are.
Leader?
We are. So, okay, I'll just say the issue is that we have a burgeoning bobcat population in this state. It's great to see. I know they're back in South Kingstown. We've seen them. We've seen pictures in Johnston, in Kathy Fogarty's front yard, my front yard. They're all over the state, and they're finally coming back. And would this bill apply to bobcats?
No. This bill applies to formerly domestic, now feral cats.
Okay. So I just want to put that out there. So it's not the legislative intent that our burgeoning
no,
bobcat
is defined as a bobcat.
Okay, but cat. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Any other lights? There are no other lights. I'm sorry, Representative. I'm sorry. Why is it blue? No, it's just different color. That's all. No. Whip Chippendale. The floor's yours.
Thank you, Speaker. Here we go with another pet bill. I'm just going to say this. It's a good bill. I urge passage.
Thank you. Chairman Casey.
Speaker, not on the bill. Without objection, could I be voted in the affirmative on item 7? I couldn't hit the button properly.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are no other lights on the bill. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proxy votes in favor of item number 1 from the following representatives: Batista, Casar, Constantino, Felix, Handy, Knight, Lombardi, Marzukowski, Ranglin Vassal, and Shellcross Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request in the affirmative. Representatives Roberts, Quattrochi, and Price, please.
Thank you. Clerk will lock the machine. There are 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. That concludes today's calendar. Next order of business is announcements and introductions. Chairman McNamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, I have a House resolution for immediate consideration with agreement of both leaders that celebrating March 25th, 2021 as the 200th anniversary of Greek Independence Day and celebrating democracy in Greece and the United States. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all of the Greek Rhode Islanders who have made such tremendous contributions to our state in the fields of medicine, philosophy, literature, and our general culture, and especially in our hospitality industry. They are truly champions. On behalf of all of the Greek Rhode Islanders, and today, all of us who are Greek at heart, I recommend passage, and I'll leave it on the desk for further signatures. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Please send it up. Representative Casimiro.
Thank you, Speaker. In honor of Greek Independence Day, one of our very fine restaurants in Providence has donated baklava for all of us to celebrate. So there's baklava for everyone in the lobby on your way out from Cleo's Restaurant in Providence. So thank you, Tom Bovis and Lauren Lynch.
Thank you, Representative. I will tell you that I have frequented that establishment, and the Greek food is outstanding. It was very generous of him. I will thank you. Yes, let's thank him. Thank you, Tom, and his whole team. And I just remind everybody, when you pick up your baklava on the way out, please eat it outside. We're not allowed to eat in the auditorium. Thank you. Chairman Abney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. An announcement, please, and a request.
Proceed.
Thank you very much. The announcement is that the House Finance Committee will be meeting immediately after the close of business today. The request is for immediate consideration of House resolutions expressing the deepest condolences of the passing of Dr. Robin Wallace from our area. My colleague, Rep. Carson, will speak on that when we get to the in memory of. Oh, you want to do it now? Is it appropriate for her to do
Certainly.
it now?
You can yield the time to Representative Carson.
Thank you.
Just give her a chance to clean the microphone, Representative. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Representative Carson.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Speaker. I just wanted to say a few words about Dr. Robin Wallace. He was a pediatrician in Newport.
Excuse me. Please proceed.
Dr. Robin Wallace was a pediatrician in Newport. He was English. He completed his residency in the United States, and he was drafted into the United States Army, where he served in Vietnam as a major in the Medical Corps. To describe him as an icon in Newport is an understatement. He was the race committee chairman at the Ida Lewis Yacht Club. He was the chairman of the state yachting committee. He participated in bringing the Volvo races to Rhode Island in 2015 and 2018. He was committed to St. George's School in Middletown. For over 35 years, he served that school and the general wellness of that community. He was the Commodore of the Ida Lewis Yacht Club, and the list of his accomplishments goes on and on. He was totally committed to the sailing community in Newport, and he helped to establish a sailing program for all the fourth graders in Newport. They go out to sail Newport, and they sail every year, which are some opportunities that some of the children would otherwise not have had. So he's a loss to the Newport community, and I'd like to see us adjourn in his honor.
Thank you very much. We're sorry for your loss, and loss to the community as a whole in Newport, but the whole state. Deputy Whip Ackerman.
Thank you so much, Speaker. 2 announcements, please.
Proceed.
First, I have an IC for immediate consideration with the permission of the majority and minority leaders, expressing deepest condolences on the passing of the Honorable Richard W. Singleton. He was a former representative from Representative Marzolkowski's district. He will be missed. I will leave this on the desk for signatures if that's okay.
Please send it up. Thank you.
Thank
Our
you.
condolences to you and the whole town of Cumberland as well.
Thank you, Speaker.
It's never easy to lose a member of this body. And once you're a member, you're always a member. Thank you. Chairwoman.
Thank you. The second thing I'd like to do is, for those who are celebrating a very happy Passover, Saturday night is the first Seder. So To all those best wishes.
Thank you, Deputy Whip. Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcement, please.
Proceed.
Under Rule 7D, in the next legislative day, I'll be introducing two pieces of legislation dealing with automobiles. One, salvage automobiles, and one to do with vehicles that are registered disabled veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy Speaker Lima, and then we'll go to Representative Cortravan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on a point of personal privilege.
Please state your point of privilege, please.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I rise to respond to comments newly elected Senator Anderson made in the media in which she misrepresented what I said in a recent House debate on climate change in a derogatory manner. Elected representatives owe a duty to their constituents to use due diligence before casting aspersions that are not borne out by facts, something Senator Anderson apparently has not learned or lacks the character to care about the truthfulness of her aspersions. She blindly retweeted incomplete statements I made in a light to convey something that was not intended. Senator Anderson retweeted when I was saying the other day during the climate debate, "Oh, Representative Lima, what's the rush? Facts and science, facts and science." She said it's hard to believe this is actually said by an elected representative, intimating just the opposite of what I was saying. What I was saying is we go by facts and science, we go by facts and science. Why can't we wait for the IOS report? I was not intimating that there was not a climate change problem. I was not intimating we shouldn't go by facts and science. I was saying, why don't we go by facts and science and wait for this very scientific report that was coming out? Her lack of due diligence in making the aspersions does not bode well for her constituents in her district. While I hope it was merely her inexperience as an elected official and not a total lack of integrity that only time will tell. In any event, I intend to keep a close eye on any legislation she sponsors if it comes to the House to ensure that it does what she purports it to do, and just not her bloviating about something she has no knowledge of. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Representative Cortravan, please, and then Representative Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the permission of both leaders, I have a resolution for immediate consideration recognizing the Portsmouth High School boys basketball team for their second consecutive D2 title championship under Coach Ochi.
Thank you, Representative. Please send it up. Congratulations to them. Representative Morgan, and then Chairwoman Ruggiero.
Yes, Speaker. I would just like to be marked present and in the affirmative on item 7, please.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Ruggiero, and then Representative Barros.
Thank you, Speaker. Request for adjournment, please.
Proceed.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I respectfully ask we adjourn today in the memory of Joe Barton of Jamestown. He was the husband of Linda Craven Barton and the brother-in-law of our colleague, Rep. Craven. Mr. Barton served his country during the Korean War. He retired from the phone company, and he loved just hanging out in Jamestown. Besides his wife, he leaves his 3 daughters, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Our condolences to him and to Chairman Craven. Our condolences to your whole family as well. Thank you. Representative Barros, and then Representative Caldwell.
Mr. Speaker, I have an IC with the approval of both majority and minority leader for solemnization of marriage.
Please send it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Caldwell, and then Chairman Solomon.
Thank you. I have an adjournment, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you. I'd like to adjourn today in memory of the victims of the recent mass shootings in Atlanta and Boulder, in honor of their families, and in honor of our Asian American and Pacific Islander communities who have been so impacted by violence in Atlanta. People who are going to the grocery store or to the spa or just to work should be able to come home safely, and to have so many victims not come home tears a hole in a community, be it Atlanta, Boulder, or our AAPI community. The victims, their families, and others who have been traumatized deserve our compassion, support, and reflection as they try to move forward in the wake of these attacks. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Speaker. I have an announcement and request for an adjournment.
Proceed on both, please.
All right, pursuant to Rule 7D, on the next legislative day, I will be introducing a bill relating to the naming of a public structure. And then I would ask that we adjourn in memory of Robert Coates, who passed away yesterday. He was the father of Kelly Coates, who is a good friend to you, Mr. Speaker, myself, and many of our colleagues. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family.
Thank you, Chairman. I've known Kelly Coates for many years. It was probably when I was a young lawyer, the first person who hired me many years ago, and we've developed a great friendship. My heart goes out to him, his family, his wife Jennifer, his children. His father was the salt of the earth, a great human being, and Kelly has done him proud. I thank you for that, and our thoughts and prayers to the whole Coates family. Thank you. Chairman Azanaro.
Thank you, Speaker. I have two House resolutions for immediate considerations. The first is commemorating Medal of Honor Day on March 25th, which is today, in the state of Rhode Island. I will leave it on the desk for more signatures.
Please send it up.
And I also have a House resolution thanking and honoring America and Rhode Island Vietnam War veterans, and asking that all Rhode Island residents remember their service and sacrifice on behalf of our nation on Vietnam Veterans Day that occurs annually on the 29th day of March, which is, I believe, next Monday. I also leave that on the desk for more signatures.
Please send them both up. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Representative Amore.
Announcement, please, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you. Pursuant to Rule 7D, I will be introducing legislation on the next legislative day dealing with catastrophic illness insurance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Barros requests immediate consideration for an act relating to the solemnization of marriage. It is LC 002557. This act would allow the Honorable Carlos Tabone to join Mariela Maricelli and Javier Rios in marriage on or about April 3rd within the town of Bristol, April 3rd, 2021. This act would take effect upon passage. This will require a machine vote, so please get close to your iPods. Clerk, will you please unlock the machine? All those in favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Please vote. If you're in the auditorium, thank you. Anybody present not yet voting? Please vote. Clerk, please lock the machine. There are 42 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. Back to announcements and introductions. Representative McLaughlin, I believe you have a birthday celebration that we didn't get to on Tuesday because of the length of the hour. So my apologies to you, and the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much, Speaker. Two announcements.
I'd just like to wish my granddaughter Josie a belated happy birthday, 7 years old, and she's quite a kid. You know? Love her dearly.
God bless. God bless.
Thank you. And like yourself, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to reiterate prayers for my dear friend, and former state representative Rick Singleton, who was one of the finest representatives Cumberland has ever seen. I ask for prayers for him and his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Cortravan, you've already spoken. You're all set. Thank you. Whip Kazarian, do you want to be recognized?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 7D, on the next legislative day, I'll be introducing a bill relating to the adoption of children. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no other announcements or introductions. I have a House resolution commemorating the Medal of Honor Day on March 25th, 2025 in the state of Rhode Island by Chairman Azzanaro, seconded by many others. All those in favor, please vote aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution shall pass. I have a House resolution thanking and honoring America and Rhode Island Vietnam veterans and asking that all Rhode Island residents remember their service and sacrifice on behalf of our nation on Vietnam Veterans Day that occurs annually on the 29th day of March. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The act shall prevail. I have a House resolution congratulating the Portsmouth boys and basketball team on winning the 2021 Rhode Island Division II State Championship. On behalf of Representative Cortravan and many others, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The act shall prevail. I have a resolution expressing the deepest condolences on the passing of the Honorable Richard Singleton by myself and Representative McLaughlin and several others, Representative Mazakowski and Ackerman and many, many others, actually. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes prevail. I have a House resolution expressing the deepest condolences on the passing of Dr. Robin Wallace by Chairman Abney and Representative Carson, along with many others. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The act shall prevail. I have a House resolution celebrating March 25th, 2001 as the 200th anniversary of the Greek Independence Day and celebrating democracy in Greece and the United States. Brought to us by Chairman McNamara, Representative Casimiro, and many others. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. I have a House resolution expressing condolences by Leader Blasewski, seconded by Leader Filippi. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. I have a House resolution extending congratulations by Leader Blasewski and seconded by Leader Filippi. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The act shall prevail. Back on announcements, introductions, Chairwoman Diaz and then Leader Blasewski. Chairwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I be marked yes in item number 1?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Leader Blasewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcement, please.
Proceed.
Thank you. We will be back in session on Tuesday, March 30th at 4 here at the Vets. But please note, everyone, for planning purposes, the House will not be in session next Thursday, April 1st. However, the Finance Committee and Oversight Committee will be meeting next Thursday. There will be no committee hearings on Friday, April 2nd, which is Good Friday. And last but not least, Mr. Speaker, I was a bit ahead of the curve last month, but I want to wish a very happy birthday to Deputy Whip Ackerman. Happy birthday, Mia.
Happy birthday, Mia Ackerman.
This weekend. Happy birthday, Mia.
Thank you. Is there any objection to transmitting all matters on the clerk's desk to His Excellency, the Governor, or the Honorable Senate, or the Secretary of State forthwith? Hearing none, so ordered. Leader Blasewski moves that the House adjourned in memory of Richard Singleton, Joseph Barton, victims of the mass shootings in Boulder, Colorado, and Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Robert Wallace and Robert Coates. Seconded by Leader Filippi. All those, please stand for a moment of silence. The House is adjourned. The desk shall remain open.
Resolution celebrating March 25, 2021 as the 200th anniversary of Greek Independence Day and celebrating democracy in Greece and the United States. Whereas on March 25, 1821, the feast day of the Annunciation, the Greek nation reclaimed its ancient heritage as the cradle of democracy by overthrowing the yoke of oppression which had enslaved its people since the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Conquered by the Ottoman Turks in the 15th century, Greece waged a successful war of independence from 1821 to 1829 and reinstituted a democratic form of government. And whereas the people of the United States generously offered humanitarian assistance to the Greek people during their struggle for independence, and whereas the price for the people of Greece to hold on to the common values in their region was high, as hundreds and thousands of civilians were killed in Greece during World War II. And whereas Greece is one of only 3 nations in the world beyond the former British Empire that has been allied with the United States in every major international conflict over the last 100 years. And whereas Greece, located in a region where Christianity meets Islam and Judaism, maintains excellent relations with Muslim nations in Israel and demonstrates religious tolerance. And whereas the ancient Macedonians were Hellenes and the northern province of Greece, Macedonia, and the Hellenic descendants. And whereas Greece and the United States are at the forefront of the efforts for freedom, democracy, peace, stability, and human rights. And whereas many American Philhellenes participated and fought in the Greek War of Independence. One such individual was George Wilson from Providence, Rhode Island, who served as a gunman in the Greek fleet, most notably in the battle against the Turkish Navy in the Naupaktos Bay, Greece. And whereas the United Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, visited Greece on October 4, 2019, where he met with Greek leaders, and together they signaled the Mutual Defense Cooperation Agreement, the MDCA. And whereas Turkey has continued to destabilize the Aegean Sea and the Eastern Mediterranean Sea region. As a result, Greece, Italy, and Cyprus have formed a trilateral cooperation agreement against the aggressive regional policies of Turkey. Each country's strong relationship with the United States, as well as the prospect of an Eastern Mediterranean pipeline enabling safe transmission of gas to Western Europe, are critical to security and energy stability. Passage of the Eastern Mediterranean Security and Energy Partnership Act of 2019 will facilitate energy and security cooperation between the United States, Greece, Cyprus, and Israel. And whereas a high-level review of the United States-Greece strategic dialogue took place in Greece on September 28, 2020, which underscored Greece's importance in the United States as a geostrategic partner in the Eastern Mediterranean and Balkans, and as an important NATO ally. And whereas, in support of the Greece 2021 committee established by the government of Greece, the United States mission in Greece has launched a campaign to celebrate the bicentennial of the independence of Greece and the 200 years of friendship between the United States and Greece. And whereas it is proper and desirable for the United States to celebrate this anniversary with the Greek people and to reaffirm the democratic principles from which these two great nations were born. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby celebrates March 25, 2021 as the 200th anniversary of Greek independence, reaffirms Rhode Island's abiding commitment to the magnificent principles of democracy and religious freedom, and urges Turkey to respect the rights and religious freedoms of the ecumenical patriarchate, and be it further resolved
that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church of Cranston, the Assumption Greek Orthodox Church of Pawtucket, and the St. Spiridion Greek Church in Newport. And members of the Rhode Island Congregational Delegation, the Honorable Stratos Ephitmio, Consul General of the Hellenic Republic in Boston, and Archbishop Elpidophoros of the Greek Archdiocese of America. House resolution congratulating the Portsmouth boys basketball team on winning the 2021 Rhode Island Division II State Championship. Whereas, after finishing with a strong 7-2 regular season record, the Portsmouth Patriots boys basketball team entered the Rhode Island Division II state playoffs on a mission to repeat as champions. And whereas, after easily dispatching Lincoln by the score of 56-34 in the play in the game, Portsmouth faced a tough Tolman squad in the quarterfinals, and in a hard-fought game, emerged victorious by the score of 66-56. In the semifinals, Portsmouth faced 1-seed East Greenwich, led by their sharpshooting star Jack McMullen, and upset the Avengers by the score of 64-54, thanks in part to the tenacious defense provided by Portsmouth senior Sam Bailawa, who held McMullen to only 10 points scored. Portsmouth also benefited from the 18 points provided by guard Ben Hurd, and showed their championship grit by coming back from a 9-point deficit to win and advance to the title game. And whereas in the championship match against Burrillville, a team known for playing superb defense, Portsmouth broke open what had been a tight game when senior Tim Chalupek, hobbled for much of the season with an injured knee, exploded in the second half and provided much-needed offense to lead the Patriots to a 51-36 victory. With Portsmouth down by 7 points in the third quarter, Mr. Chalupek went on an offensive spree, scoring in all kinds of ways from hook shots to a step-back three-pointer, finishing with 16 points and guiding Portsmouth to a victory and back-to-back state titles. And whereas winning a state championship is a difficult accomplishment, one that can only be achieved if everyone on the team gives their all and puts personal aspirations and wants behind them goals. The Patriots had those qualities in abundance, as they were led all season by the important contributions made by Marcus Evans, Calvin Lucenti, Benny Hurd, Luke Hyder, Jack Downing, Luke Brennan, Sam Bialawa, Jeff Brady, Vincent Zhang, Nian Tulson, Owen Gugliotta, Andrew Perry, Jack Bialawa, and Tim Chalupek, and the outstanding leadership provided by head coach Joe Ochi. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the state of Rhode Island hereby congratulates the Portsmouth boys basketball team on winning the 2021 Rhode Island Division II State Championship. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Mr. Joe Ochi, head coach, Portsmouth boys basketball team. House resolution commemorating Medal of Honor Day on March 25th, 2021 in the state of Rhode Island. Whereas the Medal of Honor is the highest and most prestigious military decoration in the United States, it is awarded by the President of the United States in the name of Congress to members of the armed forces who have distinguished themselves conspicuously by their gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of their lives above and beyond the call of duty. And whereas these are three distinct versions of the Medal of Honor. The United States Navy introduced its version in 1861, which is awarded to members of the United States Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard. The United States Army introduced its version in 1862, and the United States Air Force introduced its version in 1965. Prior to 1965, members of the Air Force received the United States Army version of the Medal of Honor. And whereas Medal of Honor Day is a federal holiday that was established to honor the heroism and sacrifice of Medal of Honor recipients. It was created when President George H.W. Bush signed Public Law 101-564 on November 15, 1990. And whereas Rhode Island has the distinction of having 35 of its citizens receive the Medal of Honor. These heroic men were from the Civil War: Lieutenant William B. Avery, Navy; Sergeant William J. Babcock, Army; Corporal James A. Barber, Army; Captain George M. Bliss, Army; Colonel Zanus R. Bliss, Army; Lieutenant John K. Buckland, Army; Sergeant James H. Burbank, Army; Corporal Benjamin H. Child, Army; Private John Corcoran, Army; Captain of the Top John Edwards, Navy; Private Charles D. Enos, Army; Sergeant John H. Havron, Army; Coxswain Thomas Hayes, Navy; Corporal Samuel E. Lewis, Army; Private George E. McDonald, Army; Sergeant Archibald Mulbone, Army; Corporal Thomas Parker, Army; Private George W. Potter, Army; Seaman George E. Reed, Navy; Private Joseph Taylor, Army; Lieutenant Edward P. Tobey, Army; Private James Welch, Army. The Medal of Honor recipients from the Indian Campaign are Sergeant John S. Lawton, Army, and Private Owen McGarr, Army. The Medal of Honor recipients from the interim period are Gunners Mate 3rd Class Petty Officer John Davis, Navy; Boatswain Mate Matthew Gillick, Navy; Seaman Philip Moore, Navy; and Machinist Mate Chief Petty Officer Michael Walsh, Navy. The Medal of Honor recipient from the Mexican Campaign is Gunner's Mate Chief Petty Officer George Bradley, Navy. The Medal of Honor recipient from World War I is Machinist Mate Chief Petty Officer Francis Edward Ormsby, Jr., Navy. The Medal of Honor recipient from the interim period between World Wars I and II is Gunner's Mate Chief Petty Officer Thomas Adey, Navy. The Medal of Honor recipients from World War II are Sergeant William G. Fournier, Army; Private George G. Peters, Army; and Lieutenant Robert T. Waugh, Army. And the Medal of Honor recipient from the Korean War is Corporal David B. Champagne, United States Marine Corps. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby commemorates Medal of Honor Day on March 25, 2021. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to the Honorable Daniel McKee, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, Mr. Kazim Yarn, Director of Rhode Island Office of Veterans Affairs, and Major General Christopher Callahan, Rhode Island Adjutant General. House Resolution expressing deepest condolences on the passing of the Honorable Richard W. Singleton. Whereas it is with deep sadness that this House has learned of the passing of Honorable Richard W. Singleton, a highly respected former member of the Rhode Island House of Representatives. And whereas Mr. Singleton was born in Boston, the son of Mary Singleton and the late Charles Singleton. He was a graduate of Northeastern University and went on to have a long and successful career as a financial advisor and the owner of the Singleton Financial Group. And whereas Mr. Singleton had a long and distinguished public service career, he was elected to represent the citizens of Cumberland in District 52 for 2 terms from 2005 to 2009, where he served his constituents and Rhode Island with honor, integrity, and tireless service. He was well liked by all his colleagues and was widely respected for his vast knowledge of budgetary and financial issues. He also served as the Bellingham, Massachusetts town moderator and most recently was appointed to the Bellingham School Committee. And whereas Mr. Singleton, known by family and friends as Richie, was a charismatic person, devout patriot, devoted family man, and loyal friend to countless people. He loved the music of Frank Sinatra and was a longtime communicant and minstrel member of St. John Vianney Church, where his drumming was compared to Buddy Rich and his voice was called angelic. Whereas, in addition to his mother, Mr. Singleton leaves behind his children, Christopher, Brian, Caitlin, and Michael Singleton, and his grandchildren, Madison Squibb, Christopher Singleton Jr., Layla Singleton, and Cillian Ryan. He also leaves behind his siblings, Daniel, Carol, Liza, Francis, and John Singleton. And whereas the Honorable Richard Singleton consistently demonstrated an abiding dedication to serving the best interests of his community and our state, and he will be dearly missed by all who had the good fortune to be part of his extraordinary life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives hereby expresses its deepest condolences to the Singleton family on the passing of the Honorable Richard W. Singleton, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to Christopher, Ryan, Caitlin, and Michael Singleton. House resolution thanking and honoring America and Rhode Island's Vietnam War veterans and asking that all Rhode Island residents remember their service and sacrifice on behalf of our nation on Vietnam Veterans Day. That occurs annually on the 29th day of March. Whereas our nation owes an unmeasurable debt to all those individuals who have served in the United States Armed Forces, whether volunteering, so another would not have to go to, or answering the call when drafted, or out of a profound and selfless sense of duty, often shouldering the burden of long periods away from home, difficult and frequent dangerous training and deployments, and inherent physical, mental, and emotional risks. Such is a debt we owe to Vietnam veterans. And whereas more than 2.7 million United States Armed Forces personnel served in Vietnam from 1965 to 1975, approximately 21,000 members of the armed forces from Rhode Island served during the Vietnam War. And whereas over 58,000 members of the armed forces lost their lives in that conflict, and more than 304,000 were wounded, the casualties included more than 200 service members who called Rhode Island their home. And whereas Vietnam veterans were not accorded the same welcome home as those who served in other wars, rather, those who had answered the call to serve in the United States in Vietnam were often treated with animosity by their fellow countrymen upon arriving home. And whereas, though the Vietnam War was unpopular at the time and continues to have a complex and divisive history today, the brave American citizens who left their homes to serve in Vietnam should be fully supported and honored by a grateful nation. And whereas the service of Vietnam veterans honors their Vietnam veteran honors their bravery and ensures that they are not forgotten. We remain deeply appreciative of their sacrifice and steadfastly supportive of our Vietnam War veterans and their families who still grapple with the visible and unseen scars of war. And whereas in 2017, the Rhode Island General Assembly passed Rhode Island General Law 25-2-20, which sets aside the 29th day of March to be known as Vietnam Veterans Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby thanks and honors all of America and Rhode Island's Vietnam veterans, and asks that all Rhode Island residents remember their service and sacrifice on behalf of our nation on Vietnam Veterans Day. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to the Honorable Daniel McKee, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, and Major General Christopher Callahan, Adjutant General of the State of Rhode Island. House resolution expressing deepest condolences on the passing of Dr. Robin Wallace. Whereas Dr. Robin Wallace of Middletown was born Alan Robin Gordon Wallace in Weymouth, England, the only child of Dr. Gordon and Muriel Wallace. And whereas Dr. Wallace graduated from Exeter College at Oxford University with a degree in medicine. He first visited Newport in 1964 for the British America's Cup Challenge, where his father was Commodore of the Royal Dorset Yacht Club, the challenger of record in the event, and also served as fleet surgeon, a position his son would later hold for the New York Yacht Club. And whereas Dr. Wallace completed his residency at the Children's Hospital at Boston and then moved to Newport, where he established a successful practice in association with Dr. Fred Pierce with Aquidneck Medical Associates. Although a British citizen, soon after beginning his practice, Dr. Wallace was drafted into the United States Army and served our nation with honor and integrity in Vietnam as a major and in the medical corps. After completing his military service, he returned to his medical practice on Memorial Boulevard until retiring in 2003. However, he continued his service as the school doctor for St. George's School until 2017. And whereas, in addition to being a much sought-after pediatrician, Dr. Wallace reached icon status in Newport for his leadership and advocacy on all things related to sailing. He had learned how to sail as a child from his father, and sailing remained a passion of his throughout his life. As a member of the Ida Lewis Yacht Club, he and race committee chairman Robert Connor trained the members of the club, and also fought tirelessly in support of establishing new standards of excellence for race management. Their efforts led to the introduction in America of ton racing, a European type of level ocean racing, and the instant success of the race series for the Sail Cup shined a light on the superb race management excellence of the Ida Lewis Yacht Club, for which it is nationally recognized for today. And whereas Dr. Wallace also promoted sailing events for the city of Newport and served as the chairman of the State Yachting Committee for more than 17 years, he did an exemplary job of educating elected officials and civic leaders about the important economic impact sailing has on the state of Rhode Island. And thanks to his leadership and advocacy, the State Yachting Committee was able to secure the release of the necessary state funding that made it possible for Newport to host the prestigious Volvo races in 2015 and 2018. And whereas, after the loss of the America's Cup in 1983, Dr. Wallace became one of the founding members of Sail Newport, a public sailing organization that provides sailing and instruction and boating facilities to the public. Sail Newport also runs regattas and hosts a variety of sailing events and activities that contribute much to the wider Newport community. And whereas Dr. Wallace was a Commodore of the Ida Lewis Yacht Club and a longtime member of the New York Yacht Club, he was active this past season in race management at both clubs, as sailing was one of the sports allowed to continue its activities during the pandemic. He was also a longtime active member of the Newport Reading Room. And whereas Dr. Wallace was also a passionate supporter of the St. George's School, where he conducted morning sick call for more than 35 years and played a vital role in improving the health center and the general overall wellness of the St. George's community. He always attended the school's home and away football and ice hockey games and provided immediate medical attention to the players from both teams when injuries occurred. His longtime support of and devotion to school athletics was recognized and honored by St. George's when he was inducted into its Athletic Hall of Fame. And whereas Dr. Wallace leaves behind 2 cousins in England and a large extended family that includes his St. George's family, his Sail Newport family, his Ida Lewis family, the Murphy family, his loyal friends Bill and Pat Steele, his many friends from Newport and beyond, and generations of pediatric patients and their parents, he will be sorely missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby expresses its deepest condolences on the passing of Dr. Robin Wallace, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State being hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Mr. Brad Reed, Executive Director, Sail Newport.